The train, for its type, is the most powerful vehicle on land. And the engines of Sodor are the power behind the docks, industries and branch lines that make up the world-renowned North Western Railway. These are the stories of Sodor. I mentioned a few stories ago that Dudley was useful but did have a rivalry leading to doing a job he hated. Well, today is when I'm going to go into detail. For the first month's working, he was a hard-working and friendly chap who was nice to have a conversation with. He especially liked talking to Rosie, and soon they became best of friends.
He did most jobs without complaint, with one exception.
Shunting. Why would a tender engine shunt? That is the job of little common tank engines. Like you, we are proper engines. You fetch our coaches and we will pull them.
There is nothing embarrassing about tender engines shunting.
There is. We are proud engines. You should be the ones fetching the coaches for us. We should not be shunting. We are not made to put our trains in tight, dirty sidings. Blah! Rubbish! Donald and Douglas shunt their own trains, and no one complains. Of course you think they are useful because they shunt. What? So Rosie was right. You do shunt. And... oh, you poor thing. We are tender engines. Shunting degrades your status. You clearly have lost your mind or were built without knowing the etiquette for a tender engine. We should not be fetching our own coaches. Weigh sheds. All right, shunter.
Go fetch your coaches and then fetch mine.
All right, I will. It's the fast controller's orders. We do the work he says, and without complaint. Something you are failing. The moment I see that man, I tell him what to do with that order. Or would you know? Yes, I would now. Calm down, he's just having a bad day. Bad day? He's been banging on about how shunting coaches is disgraceful for the past year. When is it going to stop having a bad day? I don't know. Even so, James and Jimmy aren't better. Why do you still hate me? Do you literally have any idea what you did? You literally sabotaged me, ran me off the rails and hospitalized my crew. Look, I said I was sorry, and I still am. And not. You only apologized because Sir Topham told you to. You would never apologize in a century had he not said that. And why did you do it again? I was angry because you had the same name as me. So, what? Is that an excuse to try to kill me? Hey, I wouldn't have killed you. And is your name really James? Yes, but I prefer to be called Jimmy. Fine, that's not a problem. Says you hypocritic bastard. Oi, I changed my ways. I realized I was wrong. And never apologized genuinely.
Now go smash another tar wagon or blow steam at an enthusiast to kill them.
Go fuck yourself! And then he reminded me of my worst moments. Well, it sounds like you didn't do them, and he has every right to hate you. You made him crash, and I apologized about it. Only because the fat controller told you to. Ever thought of properly apologizing? Well, I thought that was enough, and I genuinely felt bad back then. I realized that it was a mistake, because not only did I damage Jimmy, but myself also.
Well, in that case, apologize again.
I doubt he will forgive me.
Well, good luck, pal.
Come on, Rosie, stop gossiping with your boyfriend when there's work to be done. He is not my boyfriend, we are just friends.
Yes, we are. Now don't start. I've had a rough day as it is. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry for upsetting you. I've just had a rough day myself. What happened, Dudley? Yes, I finally stood up to him because he keeps insulting my brother. So then he called me a tank engine wannabe because he saw me shot once. So we started arguing. If the station master hadn't come, he would have continued. When is this ever going to stop? Tender engines do shunt. Them not shunting because they are too important is a load of rubbish. I admit I was like that too, but I learned shunting is a necessity. Why wait for others when you can just do it yourself? Though if it's because of the sidings that are too tight for them, that can be understandable. I know, but according to that bastard, we are too important. And what did you do wrong then? I shunted. Apparently it's a crime now, and standing up for my brother is one as well. This cannot get worse.
The station pallet is out of order and will be at the works for a long time.
But I have a goods train to pull. Well, you're gonna have to shine it yourself. Shunt? Pah! I won't! Oh, come now, get to it. You have to, otherwise you're not pulling the train. I won't shunt! You're acting like a 3-year-old. I am acting normal. Tender engines don't shunt. That's that. Stuff and nonsense. Now shunt before I call Sir Charles. Given how dumb you are, you probably don't even know the first number of his number. Alright, you selfish wanker. We pulled the regulator. Come on, we'll make you shunt. No, I will not. Oh, come now. Stop opposing. No, I won't do. Fine, I guess I'll shunt given there's no other choice. Oh, you really just want to play shunter now? Grab your tender and have a nice bunker. The only reason I'm doing this is so that you are not late. I'm doing you a favor. Unlike you, I do all the work I am assigned. If it were up to me, I would refuse to shunt for you, but I want to be useful. What? I know it's hypocritical of me to say this, but I used to be just like you. I moaned and complained every time I had to do any job apart from pulling coaches. But I learned that being really useful means doing any work, even shunting. And I suppose you lower your status to fetch your own coaches? Me and Reginald do. We are proper engines. Proper? We are supposed to be proud and ready when we are at the platform. Tank engines are our tools. They shun the coaches so we can take them. Still, we can't go without them. So they are essentially slaves? Never said they are slaves. Just essentials for us. Ha! And to think I actually used to like you, Dudley. You were kind, helpful, and now you insult others just because they work like engines should. First shunting, what next? Goods? I am a goods engine. I'm built for heavy goods trains. That's besides the point. If you go on strike without shunting, the vac controller won't be merciful to shut you in the shed for weeks. Mark my words, Dudley. You're lucky your guard blew his whistle. This conversation isn't over. I beg to differ. Tosser. Really uncalled for, Dudley. No one asked you, Todd. There, you're all set. Look, Jimmy, I'm trying to apologize again so I can prove to you that I really mean it. Mean it? Yes, Jimmy, I mean it. The fat controller didn't tell me to do it. It is my own will that told me to. Would that be enough? Enough? Mate, you willingly made me have an accident.
How do I know you mean it? How do I know this isn't false to guilt me? Unless I see actions, I'm not convinced.
Pour it out your ass, James. Did you not see how guilty I felt, you bastard? Only because Sir Topham came and told you off. Look, after I crashed, I realized my mistake.
not only did I injure you, but also myself. Oh, so that's why you felt guilty. Not because you hurt someone else, but because you hurt yourself? You never care about anybody, only yourself and your ugly paintwork. You'll pay for this, James. You'll see. Yeah, that'll be the day, you angry Lancashire prick. All right, now is the day. I'll tell you the truth like a man. You are nothing more than a replacement for our number one. You are ruining his legacy by being an asshole. This is the engine I replaced, our blue legend. This...
Stop it! Stop this right now, both of you! Henry! This argument is causing a lot of noise pollution on this island, and this needs to stop right now! I've been trying to do it in the first place. Pull the other one, you forced-up liar! Any more of this, someone would have you both see Albert so we can sort this out. I think you mean sort James out. Which James? Both of you! Why am I wasting my breath? Look, Jimmy, I wanted both of us to see Albert so we can sort this conflict out, so we can move on from this rivalry. Move on? Move on from a crowd that damaged me and be forced to apologize since your new sense of guilt couldn't change what you are, you bellend? This is getting out of hand. Stay out of this. Oh, nice.
Well, if my apologies don't make me forgive you, then what will? A longer sentence at Railgate, or perhaps community service? A sentence longer than Peter's sentence, where you never get out.
In fact, this isn't the first time you have committed a crime. If anything, you should have just gone the death penalty, not only for what you did, but for your past crime.
Like how you shot Amanda, killing her at the age of just 20?
Oh, now that is crossing a new limit.
Is anyone here present to pick up some of my vans? I've got a time schedule to keep. Why am I always the only engine always available? You aren't a proper engine. That's why you are always left with the vermin's work. You call me not a proper engine. At least I'm an actual engine. You are a hybrid of our dead friends' bodies. You're crossing a limit, boy. So what if I am Frankenstein? He's the doctor, not the creation. You should have asked, so what if I am Frankenstein's creation? That would make more sense seeing that you've got the mind of that creature. You are the creature!
Dudley, have you gone mentally insane?
No large engine betrays the ways of being a proper engine.
By causing casualties? I didn't kill anyone. He's unconscious. Can't you see that? And that was my brother you crushed. For his sake, have you got any shame? You could have killed him. Maybe he's dead right now. And maybe I'll attack you next. You're not getting away with this, you experimental mother. Please tell me Douglas is gonna be okay, sir. Douglas unfortunately went out cold when he crashed, so while the damage isn't major, it will take a few days, and had that Dudley not knocked him off the rails like that, he would not be in this scenario. Indeed. However, he got knocked off the rails by Douglas falling on his side, so while he doesn't have the same damage as Donald, he is also facing repairs. Donald, on the other hand, is currently being dealt with by the police and will most likely be shunted. He is still facing charges for assault. James, I'd like you to go to the work to see Albert tonight. What for? Counseling. Your rivalry with Jimmy has led to severe disruption. Some of the passengers complained, and it's time you two solve this. Oh, spiffing. What was that, Fleetwood? Yes, sir. Jimmy refuses to forgive me, even though I apologize for what I did. You fucking crashed me! And even then, the only reason you apologize is because Sir Topham told you to. Jimmy, listen. James is truly sorry. I can assure you that. While you were being repaired, I spoke to James and he cried and felt genuine guilt about how he treated you. He is remorseful. I can tell you that. Is he now? Yes, I was a jerk for getting mad and crushing you simply because you have the same name as me. I was an asshole back then. I realized I was wrong. I served my time. I thought my first apology was enough, but it wasn't. Jimmy, I'm sorry for crashing you. I'm genuinely sorry. Should have known better than to crush you all because we have the same name. It's really not a problem. You go by Jimmy and I go by James. We don't get confused, and in all honesty, there's nothing I can do about it because it's unavoidable.
And I'm also mostly at fault. I was mad at you because of something you felt sorry about. I started and escalated this conflict, and I think we should stop arguing. I don't like you, but I think we should just stop arguing and be at peace.
Agreed.
Like you said, Jimmy, while James might have said some bad things, you were the one who continued this rivalry. You constantly provoked and insulted him. Again, I understand why you would be mad at him, but talking back only makes things worse. So even if you don't forgive him, understand. Oh boy, I wanted to deal with this rivalry for years. Let's start with you, Dudley. What the hell gives you the permission to assault another engine? Chief, he literally called me a hybrid monster, but that still gave you no reason to attack him, and I will make sure this gets reported to the Railway's Inspectors Unit. Well then, now you are also Frankenstein, a criminal. Don't you think you are innocent? Douglas, you have constantly insulted and provoked Dudley into doing the things he did. As for you, Donald, I was completely justified. He attacked my brother, so I attacked him back. No, it was not justified at all. I know you were angry, but that doesn't justify violence. If anything, you stooped to the same low. As Dudley, you are all on common ground. You are all as bad as each other. Exactly, Jasmine. I thought you would learn your lesson given you are now shunted.
I cannot stress how unbelievably disappointed I am in all of you, especially you, Dudley. I was already gonna tell you off for constantly refusing and complaining about shunting, but this takes the cake. Nothing, absolutely nothing, justifies attacking another engine. Sir, please understand that tender engines don't. That's it! I've had it! Ever since you started work, you have been constantly moaning and complaining about tender engines shunting. They do shunt. Instead of having an engine to always shunt coaches, it's much easier for the engine to shunt them himself. Well, yes, it takes longer, hence why every big station with a yard has a shunter, but at the same time, it's not a bad thing for engines to shunt their own trains on occasion. This no shunting nonsense is simply because you think you're too important to shunt, and constantly bullying tender engines that do shunt and calling them not proper engines repeatedly is disgraceful. And after you have been shunted by the police, I will make sure personally that you spend the rest of your days shunting your own trains. I'm sick and tired of your refusal to work. You will do the jobs they are assigned and do them without complaint. Or else, I shall find you a new railway and I will ask the controller to put you shun your own trains. Understood? Yes, sir. Douglas, while I understand you stood up to your brother, but doing the same to Dudley never helps. Like Miss Hunter said, you stoop to the same low as Dudley. Which, speaking of Dudley, as soon as you are repaired, you shall be shunted, and after that you will work at the smelter's yard as the shunter. Maybe you'll get to enjoy it. And even if you don't, keep your gripes to yourself. Get this stupid idea that tender engines can't shunt. Understood? Yes, sir. Dawn and Douglas, you two will be running coal deliveries from now until New Year. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I realize I was stupid. I'm sorry. And please stop picking fights and provoking. I understand he is getting on your nerves and making you mad, but don't talk back. Ignore him and move on. After that day, things changed greatly. Dawn and Dudley were at the works for a while, given they were both damaged. After that, Dudley and Donald were both sentenced to 15 days in Railgate, followed by Dudley being relocated to the smelters before returning to heavy goods in a few weeks. Dawn and Douglas, on the other hand, stopped talking to Dudley completely. They just made glaring looks. They still didn't trust Dudley, despite him never complaining about shunting and understanding that it's not a bad thing for tender engines to do so.
One thing I'm sorry to say is that we all weren't fond of Dudley given his acts and held a huge grudge against him. What made it worse is that while he was sorry, he didn't say sorry to the twins. While he did learn his lesson, we still didn't trust him. We didn't realize he had changed until it was too late. But that will have to wait until next time.